Hello again, welcome to this second 3D game programming video series for Wave Engine 2.0. In this video we will learn how to use and manage your game assets in the new Wave Visual Editor, which are so important for your game, of course. But first of all, what do we consider an asset? In Wave Engine, an asset represents a file or group of files generated for external tools which is used inside the games, like textures, sounds, all that kind of files. And they are compiled and translate into an internet format so Wave Engine can use it. So for a spaceship demo, we will be using these assets. Here we can see some models, FBX models for asteroids, an environmental model which contains the background scenario, the playable ship, and the thrust. The thrust is like the fire of the ship, and some textures. For example, the ship diffuse, the emissive texture, the specular, the asteroid map, the asteroid's normal map, and the background planet, and some particles, the stars texture, and the thrust. We also will need these sounds, the engines for the chip and the explosion effect. And we also need two cube maps, which are like cubical projection of the environment. We will use them for our background, also material effects. You can see these textures represent different sides of the environment. And the other cube map, it's used for image-based lighting, what we will explain later. So yeah, these are all the assets that we are using in this application, this game. So let's back to Wave Editor, and let's focus on this left area of the editor, and we can see the asset hierarchy panel and the asset details panels. Here we see some folders, the main content folder and two subfolders, assets and scenes. So we will place our asset in this folder. In our demo, we are creating several subfolders for different kind of assets. So let's start creating a subfolder. Just right click and click on create folder here. We type the name. We will also create a model folder, sounds folders. I think those are the folders we need for now. And we can add assets to this project from several ways. We can right click on the asset details panel and click on import asset, which will show you a file picker dialog, or we can just drag the files into the Wave Editor. So that's what we are doing now. In this folder we have placed the game textures, which are 2D statics image. So if we click in one of the textures, the asset viewer will be opened and will show you the information of that asset. In this case, the planet image, the planet texture. You can see on the main area the visualization of the texture, and we can open that asset for the default image viewer. Also, we can change the properties of this asset in our game. For example, we can choose whether we want to compress or not to compress the the texture. We can scale the image. For example, we can choose to make the image smaller. If we make some change, we can click on apply button, so you can see that the image now is smaller. So let's get back to the original size, and we can select also a specific size. We click and apply again, and you will see the image is stretched. But let's back to the original size. We can also check the anti-alias type, the output format, 16 and 32 bits, and compress different qualities of compression. So for now we can just click. For the other assets, it's similar. The options are the same. So the next kind of asset that we have are the models. So if we drag these models into web editor, so if we click in one of them, the asset preview will be open again, and like in the texture visualization, in this area we can see the model, the mesh, just with a white material. If we can open the asset. We can also open the asset, and on the right side we also have the zip compression option. We can check and uncheck. Change the winding order. In this case, the normals will be flipped, so better that way. You can generate the tangent space for normal mapping, and this model has no skin, so it has no point to export the animation, so for now it's okay. Once we edit the model, a thumbnail will be generated, so we can see it here. So the next kind of assets are the sounds, so we can also drag them into web editor. So if we click in one of them, we can hear the sound and check its properties, like setting to mono or stereo on the quality. Let's check in mono because it's mandatory for placing it in a 3D scenario. So yeah, it's okay for now. We forgot the cube maps. We can create one cube map here, right-clicking on the asset details, then create cube map. You can also click on the asset menu button and then click on create cube map, like you see. You can name it. So yeah, here you can see a pre-visualization of the environment with a sphere with a reflecting sphere and a skybox on the background. And here we can click on the different sides of the cube map. We can maximize the asset viewer if we want, if we prefer. Let's click the right side of the cube map, this one up there. The right side of the cube map is the negative x. So the right side is the positive x. So let's select it. We check it and we click the apply button. So here we have a complete background cube map and a reflection sphere. Really interstellar-ish. So okay, let's click the OK button. We can see here the pre-visualization. And let's add the other cube map, which we will call space IVL for image-based lighting. And we will do exactly the same, but with the other folder. You can see that this is like a really soft environmental map, and this is used for calculating the ambient illumination for an object in our standard material. So here we have all the assets. Now let's create the materials. They are really basic in every game engine. A material defines how a mesh or surface is represented or seen in our scene. It can be affected by light, ambience, parameters, surface properties, and usually combines one or more textures to create its final effect. So let's create a new folder for them. Materials. Inside it, we will create the different materials. Just right click and select create material button, or we can also click here in the main menu. This will open our material editor, where here we can see the different properties of every material, the different kind of materials. And for now we will use this standard material. Here we can see on the left side the pre-visualization of the material. For now it's just a white, base white material, so this is the representation. We can also change the background and also the shape of the object here. So let's keep on a sphere, okay? So here we can see the different parameters. The most important is the diffuse map. So if we click in this button, in this slot, a floating panel will show us all the textures that we can apply for this property of the standard material. So for this one, we will check the asteroids. We can see the diffuse map will affect the final material. Here we can see the normal map. So if we click here and we select the asteroids normal map here, we see that it will affect the bump and dents of the material. So it looks like much more detailed. Here we can change the specular power. Let's check it. Let's take this one. And at last we will add the ambient path. So here we can check the space IVL. This one, if we uncheck for now the lighting material, will affect the illumination. It will add the material a background and ambience illumination. Really, really realistic. So let's keep like that. So this material will be generated. So if we click on it, on its name, we can rename it. Let's name it Steroid Matte. So we can keep creating another material. For example, if we check the environmental material, we can create a pretty cool effect. For example, if we click on the space background cube map, we see the reflection of the sphere. And if we put the environmental amounts to 1, we will only see the environmental. So, okay, here we have two materials, several models, 4 kind of asteroids that we will use to create our asteroid fields, and the environment, which contains the background, the chip, the playable chip, the thrust, which are the like the engine, 2 sounds, several textures. With these elements, we can start creating our game or thing. In the next videos, we will create the proper thing, which are the chips and the background and all that. And we will creating more materials, and the way we will create them is really similar. So it's perfect for now. Yeah, thank you very much, and I hope you like this video. So stay tuned and keep waiting for us. And the next day we will upload the next chapter. Thank you very much.